Hello, welcome to American BBQ'ers. Today we're going to go over how to properly sharpen your kitchen knives. This is your standard chef knife. It's a utility knife. It's probably going to be the knife you use the most in your kitchen. It is imperative that you keep it sharp. A dull knife is usually will result in cuts and gouges to your hands and fingers. A lot of people think this is what you use to sharpen a knife. That would be incorrect. This is used to hone a knife. Honing a knife is basically after you make 5 to 10 cuts with a sharp knife, that knife edge goes from being nice and straight and it starts to curl. When you use a steel and you're hitting your knife across it, you're taking that curl and you're straightening it back out. So this will help you keep a knife sharper longer. It will not sharpen your knife. For that, you're going to want to get some stones. This is one of my stones. I have another one soaking. These are wet stones. You want to soak them in water for at least 10 minutes before you start using them. This particular stone, as you can see, has 1,000 and 400 on it. This is a 1,000 grit side, this is a 400 grit side. You never use the 400 grit side unless your knife actually has big gouges out of it. 400 grit is to prepare your knife to start to be sharpened. So my knife does not have anything like that going on. So I'm going to set it up. You want to take your fingers in some water and you want to keep this stone as wet as possible while you are doing your sharpening. Always start out at 1,000 grit when you start sharpening your knife. This particular kit does come with several things. I got a base that actually has rubber on the bottom so it doesn't move. It came with 2 of these rubber kits to put on the stone, as it came with 2 stones. It came with these bars right here. These bars are meant to, as soon as you're done with your stone, you take these bars and you go over your stones, okay? What happens is, as you're sharpening your knife, your stone will eventually start forming a U in the middle of it. That's bad when you continue to sharpen your knife, because that'll get your knife at the wrong angle. So these stones are to correct your actual sharpening stones. Okay, I got this kit off of Amazon for about $25. They had it on a lightning sale. I think normally this kit's about $50. The kit also comes with this little contraption here. This, you slide it onto your knife, and it allows you to keep your knife at a constant angle. This is the angle you're going to want to use while sharpening. So when you do this, again, make sure you get plenty of water on your stone, and you want to start at the heel of your knife, and with light pressure with your fingers, draw it back. Come up and just slide over a little bit and draw it back. And you keep doing this until you work your way all the way down, and then you start over. You're going to want to make 2 to 3 passes, then hit you a little more water. Okay, you're going to do this roughly 20 to 30 times. One time is one full pass across your knife blade. And then you're going to flip it over and do the other side. This right here is preparing your knife. This is going to get you that initial sharpness going on. Okay. Then once you hit about 20 to 30 times on the one side, you're going to flip over. You can do the same thing on the other side. And again, you're going to pull it towards you. Make sure you keep that constant angle. I'm going to continue with this 1000 grit stone. I'm going to get this a good 20-30 passes. When we come back, we're going to go to our other stone, which is a 3000 grit and an 8000 grit. It's what you're going to use to actually polish the edge of the knife to give it that nice, real sharp edge where you just can take your knife and cut through paper. I'm going to continue sharpening here. When we come back, we'll go over to over the other stone, and we'll show you how it works. Okay, I'm all done with the 1000 grit stone. We've got a knife that's starting to get nice and sharp. So we're moving on to our 3000 grit. Then after we're done with that, we're going to flip it over and move to the 8000 grit. And again, same technique. You soak these stones for about 10 minutes. Make sure you get some water going on it. And you're just going to repeat what you did on the 1000 grit stone, but with the 3000 grit. And you're going to want to do about the same number of passes, about 20 to 30, with this stone as well. And you'll notice, and I'll show you when we get to the 8000 grit, you'll be able to see it better. You will, on all the stones, start to see some silver left behind on the stone. It's exactly what you want. That's little bits of the knife that you're taking off, and that's making your knife sharp. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to work about 20 to 30 times on each side. When we come back, we're going to do the 8000 grit a few times, and I'll show you how sharp these knives can get. Okay, I went ahead and hit the knife on the 8000 grit stone as well. This one's the white stone. I don't know if you can see how we've got that grayish color coming down on the stone. That is actual knife shavings. Okay, that right there is just proof that you're actually getting your knife sharp. Now from here, you should be pretty sharp. Wash your knife, dry it off, and then just a little paper test here. Get it on the good side. You've got a nice sharp knife. From this point, every time you use it, throughout every time you cut down on the cutting board about 5 to 10 times, take your steel. Try to get it at the same angle if you want. You put your guard back on it, but you want to pretty close to about a 15-degree angle, and come down and down on both sides. Okay, if you're a little nervous because you don't want to come down and cut your hand, you can always take a towel, put your steel on it like this, then hit like this on both sides. And when you do it, you want to put a little bit of force. That way your steel will straighten your blade back out. And most of your steels, if you take them in your hand and you curl it sideways, you'll feel a bunch of little tiny ridges. That's what's grabbing and forcing your blade to go back straight. Proper knives, proper sharp, help prevent cuts when you're working. I know it sounds a little weird. You think a sharper knife, you're going to get cut easier. You will cut yourself easier, but properly sharpened knife is going to cut through whatever you're cutting a lot easier. So you're not forcing and trying to saw or trying to get, however you're trying to get through that vegetable or piece of meat or even some cartilage, it'll go through it with ease, because when you force is a lot of times when you twist and it'll come back at you and cut yourself. Okay, you can use a sharpener like this. I stay away from the electronic ones. This will do a decent job for you. I have no problem with these. You will get a sharp knife. You won't get cutting paper like this sharp out of it, but you will get a decently sharp knife, one that you shouldn't have any problems with, especially if you use your steel with it. But if you're looking for that fresh out of the box type sharpness to your knife, definitely the whetstones are the way to go. You won't, using this, get a knife as sharp as the day you bought it. Whetstones is how you do that. So that's going to conclude our video. If you feel free to join Z-Girls Nation Facebook group, we've got lots more videos and a lot of people that are willing to help with any problems that you have.